Well, let's see if taxi services have resumed after that decision that was taken following that meeting that Santaco had with the authorities in the Western Cape and specifically the city of Cape Town. Atule Joka is now joining us live. Good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Are things different this morning compared to the other days as the strike has been ongoing?
Much more of a difference today. We see people are out and about, taxis, it's hustling and bustling as well. You hear those chants, those shoutings of different locations that are being shouted in the taxi ranks from the touters. It has come back to be alive again. It is hustling and bustling. People are coming in, going to their different places, Aldrin. We tried to speak to some of them earlier on. They were saying even though they've lost quite a lot of money by not going to work for a number of days, they are actually quite happy to be back, to be able to catch those taxis to go to their various destinations and to their workplaces. We also try to speak to some of the operators who are also affected by the strike, even though they were central in this part. I will try and speak to one of the operators here. Butom, kunjani namhlanje? Taxis zibuyile namhlanje. Cela nje sixelele ba mhlawumbe kwelenu icala niziva njani?
Enkosi. Mandibulela ixesha lakho. Okokuqala siyabulela ngoba itaxis zibuyile namhlanje. Enkosi.
Nichaphazelekile njani mhlawumbe kwezinsuku nje izimbalwa?
There's nothing now.
Lisibethile lona elixesha ngoba kaloku si badala imoto ngoku into ba imoto zime ungasetyenzwa la nto senza ke ngoku ba sithi phela inyanga sibe sineqhala kakhulu ngoba lokho imoto ezo zethu siyazibhatala.
Saying, of course, they pay exorbitant amounts on installments in these cars, and the fact that they are were out of work, it deeply affected them. Maybe mhlambe butom xa nojonga nje le meko ebisenzeka nezinto mhlambe eziniphatha njani nje sentsho ezidibene noqhushulu yonke into ebisenzeka beniphatha njani nje apho benihleli
khona ke into yongqushungqushu zange yaba into ebukekayo ibe into enhle leyo into so irongo kakhulu yona leyo into.
Saying, of course, he condemns some of the acts that were happening that was also not sitting well with them. Talk to us about impoundments. What are you hoping to see? Ninethemba lobona ntoni ngoku ukuya phambili?
Yeah, khona ke kwizinto ze-impoundment nento yobanjwa kwemoto njalo zona sizixhoma kwinkokheli zethu. Yeah, because thina sisezantsi kuzo so zizo ke ngoku abantu badilishana nezo zinto.
Mhlawumbe zinichaphazela njani nje apha on the ground?
Sichaphazela kakhulu kaloku zona ngoba kaloku wena izikhama imoto ithathwa iyohlala endabeni safarisha yonke ifamily yam safarisha nami ngaphezulu so ndiyafana uba ndikoshishinini.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Aldrin, one of the operators, just talking to us about the impact of the strike and also saying, of course, they're hoping the impoundments get sorted out because when their cars are taken away, it also affects them. It affects their livelihoods and their families as well and the way they're able to make an income. I want to see if I can move towards some of the taxis to just speak to some of the commuters to see and hear how they feel about the taxis coming back. I'll ask my colleague, Lukanya, to just come with me as we come towards those taxis. Molweni mama taxi, how are you? Just talk to us, how do you feel about taxis coming back, mama?
Yes, sir. Now we are very happy, my bro. Very, very happy. Yeah.
Okay.
Siyavuya nyani.
Bekunjani ukuhlala endlini?
Bengekho manje stressful. Yeah. Nabantwana siyoyika. Exactly.
Some of the commuters saying they were quite scared for the past few days, Aldrin, and they are quite happy that the taxis are finally back now and they are able to go to their different places. And they were losing quite a lot of money as they were unable to go to work. I'll try and get inside here and speak to some of the people. The taxis are back. How do you feel now?
I'm so excited. You know what? I can't hardly stand up this morning. I just jumped into my clothes to get to work and I'm on my way to work. Although I'm late, I can work later today. Thank you.
Past 7 days, there were no taxis. How did you feel?
Oh, I feel very, very upset because a lot of people were struggling. They're walking up and down, look for food, look for traveling pay and whatever, electricity, and that is the way. We are on our way to work and all are excited.
On that day when the suspension was announced, how did you get home on that Thursday?
But eventually I didn't work that day. I did work the day before that.
How were you getting groceries amongst what was happening?
I was very, very upset about everything what happened, all the people that lost their lives, family that lost their people. I was very upset.
Thank you so much. Aldrin, just some of the commuters talking about the impact of the strike and the fact that they are happy that taxis are back, and how all the impact of the strike and some of the violent acts that happened throughout have also impacted them, saying of course she is sad about everything that has happened, but now she's finally happy that she's going to be able to go back to work and be able to earn an income. Now they are feeling much safer. They are very quite happy to have the taxis back. You see, that's the general feeling amongst the people. They are very happy that they are able to be transported to their different places. We understand Santaco will be sitting now with the City of Cape Town, the provincial government and national government to sort out and iron out some issues. We understand that the next 14 days they will try and see how they deliberate over the issue of impoundment, which was central to these discussions. They will try and see which cars will be released. Those cars with minor transgressions will be released, and some of them will continue to be impounded. We'll see what that task team will try and resolve on Aldrin.
And just quickly, a final one, Atule, is there any confirmation from the city that indeed that there were taxis that were impounded on minor offences using the bylaws and not the national land public transport laws?
If you may come again, Aldrin, just your line is a bit crackling a bit. Please come again.
Let's try again. Is there any confirmation that there have been taxis that were impounded for minor offences that are not included in the National Land Transport Act?
This is the discussion that has been ongoing because the City of Cape Town passed bylaws which were then were saying that effectively they will be able to impound cars maybe on some minor traffic offences such as tires which are not in good conditions, defective lights, and cracked windows, drivers who are negligent and putting other people in danger. But what the National Transport Department was saying that according to the National Land Traffic Act, you cannot impound a car on those bases. The Constitution does not have those sort of provisions to impound cars on those grounds. You can only impound cars on a National Transport Act, which says that if a car is unroadworthy, if a car is unlicensed, you can impound a car on those bases. So some of the cars that were taken on the roads were from minor offences. So this is what they will be deliberating on. But the city was saying they use the NLTA to impound some of those cars. But the National Department, even the Minister Cindy Swachikunga was saying that those cars were not impounded in line with the National Land Traffic Act. So they will be sitting down to look at all those cars that were impounded case by case to see what were the offences. If they were impounded on minor cases which were not on the NLTA, then they will be released. But if they use the bylaws which said the cars can be impounded on minor offences, and then the cars will be released, Aldrin.